I should have left him 3 years ago and now I'm marrying him. I need to confess something, and I know people might have their opinions about it. I've never shared this with anyone before, but I feel like I need to get it off my chest. I'm getting married in a week, but I've been carrying some unresolved feelings since the day he proposed. I, 29F, am marrying a man, 34M, who I love, but I'm struggling with deep insecurities. I've never cheated on him, I've always been honest and loyal. But he emotionally cheated on me. He was texting other women, making inappropriate comments, and even saying he wanted to sleep with them. At the time, I was ready to leave, but he convinced me he would change. He has been better for the last 3 years, but I still carry this nagging fear and doubt in my mind. What he did really affected me. It hurt my self-esteem, my confidence, and even my sense of self-respect. I feel like I allowed myself to stay, and that's something I struggle with. He is a good guy, genuinely kind and loving when he's with me, but I can't shake the anxiety about what he's doing when I'm not around. Who is he messaging? Who is he liking or hearting on social media? It's like I don't fully trust him, and that hurts. Maybe I'm overthinking things or even being irrational, but I feel like he's the one who made me this way. I'm ashamed of how I've let this relationship affect me and how far I've let it progress, and I feel like I'm too far in to back out now. Instead of constantly asking myself if I'm making the right choice, I tell myself, make the choice right. So, I'm trying to just enjoy the connection we have and push my doubts aside. But deep down, I wonder if I'm the right person for this relationship, especially considering his narcissistic tendencies. It's exhausting, and I'm just sad. I don't know what the future holds, but I'm trying to make the best of it. Edit. Thank you all for the comments. I still have the same unresolved feelings. Per this thread, I was just confessing how I felt and my thoughts. As all of you recommended, I confronted him with my issues and we talked it out, but per usual, argument never got resolved. Resisting couples counseling and won't do open phone policy till we're married. I do not know if I'm strong enough to break this engagement. And if I do break it, a huge part of me feels like I'll regret it, because after all, he does treat me well, but it's the respect I do not know if he's giving me, the respect that I deserve and the respect of my boundaries. But the nagging feeling of would he ever get so far as to physically cheat is what's killing me. And the lies are the worst. For now, this issue is being tabled. Again. I hope we come out of this stronger than before, but until he meets me in the middle and agree to open phone policy and couples counseling, IDK if we'll survive. Thank you all for the comments and DMs. Anyone else think I'm controlling? Be honest.
Confession 2. AITA for not wanting to carry my wife anymore because she gained 250 pounds? Shitpost. I, 40M, have been married to my wife Mamie, 27F, for 3 years, together for 6. When we first met, she was a college athlete and was very active and fit. At the time, she weighed 110 pounds soaking wet. After she graduated and started working, her lifestyle became more sedentary and she started to put on a few pounds. That didn't bother me at first, but the weight continued to build up over time. Don't get me wrong, I've always thought she was beautiful, even with the weight. Heck, by the time we had our wedding, she was about 50 pounds heavier. I didn't think it would go too far, but then her dad suddenly died and her coping mechanism became food. Her weight skyrocketed and, as of now, she's 360 pounds. During the early days of our relationship, she loved me carrying her, whether it was bridal style to bed before sex or jumping on my back. I like doing that too, but obviously not anymore because she's far too heavy for me to manage. I thought she understood that, but for some reason, she asked me to carry her to bed the other night. I was a bit taken aback and said I couldn't. She suddenly became upset and demanded why. I said, you know why? She said, no, tell me. I finally sighed and said, honey, you're too heavy for me to lift. You're more than double my weight, I'm 175 pounds, Phi. She started to cry and said that she was aware of that, but she hoped that I would at least try for old time's sake. I honestly would, but I really don't think I can do it. She told me to sleep on the couch, so I did, and I woke up to a bunch of family member texts telling me I was being footphobic and a horrible husband. So AITA?
Confession 3. How do I get my BF to forgive me? Me, 18F, and my BF, 19M, have been watching the Harry Potter series the past couple of weeks. Hez obsessed with Harry Potter and I don't know that much about it. So when I have a question about it I ask him. He would either give me the answer or explain that it answers it later in the movie and keep watching. Last night, during Deathly Hallows Part 2, I had a question about why Voldemort's sword didn't work on Harry. He said he didn't know. So I made my prediction to him and he said it was probably wrong. I then googled it to find us both the answer scene as he said it didn't know. He got really mad and called me a fucking weirdo for googling it because it answers in the movie. Previously he had just told me that it answers in the movie. So I just googled it because I figured ID never found out and did it quickly so I didn't forget my question. He had then waited till the end of the movie to call me a fucking weirdo and said I ruined it, then didn't talk to me for the rest of the night. I had no idea I was doing anything wrong. I understand he loves Harry Potter and he wanted me to let it play out naturally, but I was just being curious.
Confession 4. AITA for ruining my coworker's big reveal by guessing it right away? So, I, 24M, work in an office where we all get along pretty well. One of my coworkers, Amy, 30F, is super into dramatic announcements. She once revealed she got a dog by bringing in balloons shaped like Paw Prints. She's fun, and we all humor her because, honestly, the office can get boring. Last week, Amy was bursting with excitement. She kept hinting she had huge news, but wouldn't tell anyone until Friday during our team lunch. All week, she was dropping vague hints like, it's something life-changing, and you'll never guess. Naturally, this got everyone speculating, was she engaged? Pregnant? Won the lottery? Bought a house? By Thursday, I was kind of over it. So, when she made another big "I can't wait to tell you all" comment, I jokingly said, "What, are you pregnant or something?" Well, she froze, looked at me, and said, yes. That's my news. The room got super awkward. She looked upset, and a couple of our co-workers gave me the stink eye. I apologized right away, saying I was just guessing and didn't mean to ruin her moment. She brushed it off, but the vibe was weird for the rest of the day. Friday rolls around, and during the big lunch reveal, she goes, "As some of you may have already figured out, I'm pregnant." Everyone clapped, but I could tell she was still annoyed. Later, she told me I stole her thunder and that I should have just let her have her moment. I get it, but also, how was I supposed to know I'd guess right? Some of my co-workers agree with her and think I was rude. Others think it's not a big deal since it was just a lucky guess. Now I'm wondering, AITA for accidentally spoiling her big announcement. Edit, she had previously brought up the hopes of pregnancy or else the comment would have never been made. Confession 5. My dad jokes about having cameras in my room. In 17, girl, recently my dad is joking about having small cameras in my room. They're probably just jokes, but it still makes me uncomfortable because it stays in the back of your head. I try to ignore it when he jokes about it. Recently, he said he was gonna watch me, in a joking way. When I told him I was going to bed, he also said he installed small Chinese cameras in my room. He started making jokes about it maybe 2 months ago and made jokes about it about 6 times. I don't understand why he's joking about this and it makes me uncomfortable because you still think about it. What should I do? Edit, I searched my room with a flashlight and couldn't find a hidden camera. I did find something else. I have some black foam on my walls for the sound of my instruments I play, and I found a small perfect hole in the foam. Not sure what to think of this. I can't find any other holes on the other foam, but it could just be a coincidence. I will check his phone and iPad when I have the chance to check his search history to see if I can find anything about small cameras and look for apps.